Yeah, Ben and Jen, St. Rose of Lima, Newtown wanted to give community members a chance to relax as we approach the 10-year mark since the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. 26 lives were lost in that school shooting on December 14, 2012, but people say it still feels like yesterday.
Very emotional for me. You know, I haven't talked about as much as I have the last few weeks, and you know, I still feel with sadness. I still fill up with the tears. I don't think there's been any real closure to this. I mean, we live in the midst of it every day, and you can't help but think about the children. You can't help think about their families.
10 years ago this week, 20 students and 6 staff members at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown were shot and killed. St. Rose of Lima hosted a musical performance Monday geared towards peace and healing. Monsignor Weiss says the community has never moved on from this tragedy.
For those of us who were here, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, or yesterday, it's all still the same memory. It's one of those things you knew exactly what you were doing, where you were. This is a chance to take an hour, take a breath, and just be in a presence where there is a great deal of healing going on.
Water runs at the newly opened memorial next to Sandy Hook Elementary. White roses lay on the names of the 26 victims. It was a moment in time the community has yet to come to grips with.
I remember the day that Sandy Hook happened. I was decorating my tree, and when I heard it, we couldn't believe it, because things don't happen in this nice, quiet town of Connecticut.
Southbury's Ardell Carvis has attended memorial service in the year since the 2012 mass shooting. She says 10 years feels like forever ago, but at the same time doesn't.
This community, I think, is very special because it's not filled with anger, it's filled with sadness, and let's change things.
Monsignor Weiss says the community is still dealing with what happened emotionally and spiritually. It was something he never expected in his community, but now, 10 years later, still trying to understand why it did.
I think the town has demonstrated tremendous resiliency. People really bonded themselves together to effect some kind of healing.
St. Rose of Lima will also hold a Mass Wednesday to mark 10 years, the Monsignor says. While the tragedy brought this community together, it doesn't define Newtown or its values. The Southbury woman you heard from said she thought this would be the last of its kind, saddened to see instances like this continue in the last decade. In the studio, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.